Am I the astronaut for refusing to give my ex full access to my life just because we co-parent? I, 25 female, have a 6-month-old baby with my ex, 24 male, and we've been trying to co-parent since we split a few months ago, but now he's saying I'm being an asshole for not telling him everything I do when the baby isn't even with me. Wait, what? The kid's not with you. I'm gonna still need to see your full itinerary and your receipts for the day, and I want to know who you talked to and what you did. I don't think it works that way. We were together from high school, 2015, up until recently. Our breakup happened shortly after I gave birth, when I found out he had been cheating with multiple women. His excuse that I wasn't being sexual enough postpartum, and he had a high libido.
You.
Yeah, that was enough for me to walk away. Since then, I've been... Hold on. Before going to the next... I have to. I need to just push 2 of those in your body, but you're not, not being sexual enough. Since then, I've been rebuilding my life. I got more involved in my church, formed new friendships, and started feeling like myself again for the first time in a while. I've also done everything I can to keep things calm and respectful for the sake of our baby. But now, he's making it an issue that I don't share details about my personal life with him. He says I should be more transparent and that it's important for co-parenting. He wants to know who I'm hanging out with, what I'm doing, who my new friends are, even if I'm just out while he has the baby.
No.
His reasoning? He tells me about what he's doing, so I should do the same. But here's the thing. I've never asked him for any of that information. He voluntarily tells me I'm about to hang out with this girl, or I've been seeing someone new, even when our child is not in his care at the time.
No one cares.
Okay, red flagging that. He's not doing that for your benefit, sweetheart. I think we all know that. It's his personal time, and I've told him I don't need or want those updates. Yet he's acting like because he shares that info with me, I owe him the same level of openness, even though I've never requested it and it's unrelated to our child. He's also been following some of my new friends on social media and asking questions about them. My account is private, so I don't know how he's even finding them. I suspect he's using a burner account or he's viewing my church's page, who posts pictures of me and the people I hang out with at times. I had to ask them to stop posting me. We have a photography team that takes pictures during service or after service and post them online for media purposes. For a while, because I believe he was using those posts to find my friends and follow them. He's never reached out to any of them, but the whole thing feels really creepy and invasive. It's crossing a boundary for me. You think?
Right?
That he's stalking people that you talk to or are in the vicinity of? I've talked to some friends about this and their opinions are mixed. Some say he has a point that we should be transparent with each other since we share a child. Guessing those are the people who don't have children. Others think he's overstepping and that this is not part of normal co-parenting, especially since our child hasn't met any of these people and I'm not dating anyone right now. Even my mom is siding with him. Ma, what are you doing, huh? She's liked him since we were together in high school, and anytime we argued, she tended to take his side and ask what I did wrong. Now she's saying I should be open about who I'm hanging out with to better co-parent. That makes me question myself even more. No. This should make you question the way that you were mothered even more. I'm not trying to be an asshole or difficult. I believe in healthy boundaries. If someone's going to be around my child, I'll share that. But just living my life and seeing friends when my baby isn't with me, I don't think I owe him a play-by-play. So now I'm wondering, am I the astronaut for keeping parts of my life private from my child's father when it doesn't involve our child? There's an edit to add. Before that, this is bullshit, right? This is him trying to exercise a level of control. And that's all I see. I see someone who is probably controlling in a relationship. Exhibit A, B, C, and D, or the extra holes he put his dick in after OP had her baby, probably before too. This is him trying to exercise control. And him sharing the information about who he's hanging out with or who he's seeing is not him trying to be a good co-parent. It's him trying to swing his dick around. That's it. Edit to add. Wow, I genuinely didn't expect this post to get the attention it has. I know everybody says that, but seriously, I thought maybe 4 people would comment. Thank you so much to everyone who's taken the time to give advice or even just to offer support. I've been reading through everything and it's given me a lot to think about. A lot of people have mentioned co-parenting apps, heyo, which I honestly didn't know much about before, but I'll definitely be looking into that. Having a structured and more monitored way to communicate feels like something I really need at this point. There's no court order in place right now, but I've been heavily considering it. Do it. That and the app. Do it. Lately, he's been more and more insistent about knowing the details of my personal life, especially if he thinks I'm spending time with male friends. He doesn't just ask casually. He demands to know who I'm with, even when the baby's not involved at all. I personally don't feel like I owe him that kind of access, but it's becoming a consistent pressure, and I'm starting to feel like court might be the only way to establish clear boundaries. Do it. Because a judge is going to be like, no, douche. Some people have asked why my mom seems to be on his side. I touched on this in a comment, but for context, my mom has always been very male-centered. She tends to take the man's side in most situations. She did the same thing to my sister during her marriage issues. When I told her about the cheating, her response was, well, men don't just cheat for no reason. What weren't you doing?
Oh, so you're a misogynistic asshole.
Yeah, mom either is a misogynistic asshole or was mind warped into being a misogynistic asshole. She's never really supported me in situations like this. I also think a lot of it stems from her own past. My dad cheated on her a lot and she stayed with him. There it is. She genuinely sees cheating as something normal that couples should just work through.
Nope.
Because someone convinced her of that, right? So no, she wasn't supportive of my leaving my ex, and she still says I should have given him more attention during that time. Well, in between sitz baths, you could have, you know. On top of that, some people mention the possibility that he's only sharing info about the girls he sees to make me jealous, and honestly, I 1000% believe that. I never ask him about what he's doing when the baby's not with him, but he offers up these updates like, oh, I'm hanging out with this girl, or I've been seeing someone. I think he expected me to react, but I really don't care, and I think the fact I'm not reacting is what's frustrating him, so now he's trying to flip the script and demand transparency from me. Also, some of y'all suspect my mom might be feeding him info about me, and I hate to say it, but I wouldn't be surprised. No!
What the action?
Also, how did we not clock that? She watches my baby sometimes when I go to church events or other things like that, and she and my ex are still Facebook friends, and I believe she still has his number. She does bring him up constantly, even saying stuff like, he's way cuter than the guy you said was cute, and things like that. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if she's told him I've been out or who I've been with. I'm taking a step back from her and what I tell her, and taking a step back from having her watch my child for the time being. Anyway, thanks again for all the insight. I really appreciate it. It's helped me feel a lot less crazy for being uncomfortable with all of this. Thoughts?
Dickhead had actually given her any of this, like, put any energy into their relationship instead of other women. Like, instead, he just waited for her to walk away, and he's like, now I'm gonna make your life a living hell because that's the only thing I can control. He is a up individual. And to do this, and like, she has a child with this guy, and then to top it off, she's questioning herself, and then her mom's like, yeah, you should have had sex even though you weren't outside the 6 weeks of, you know, you're supposed to wait. You should have just done it anyways.
Yeah.
Like, you, mom.
You do have more than one hole, sweetie.
Oh my gosh.
Do you think mom's banging him?
Why doesn't the mom just ride off into the sunset with this asshole? Because what kind of advice?
I think she wants to.
What kind of advice is this that you give your child who's going through a hard time with this guy literally stalking her on a church's like Facebook page to find out who she's hanging out with, and you're like, he's cuter than the other guy. Bitch, that doesn't matter? Like, none of that matters. The way that he's treating your child right now is what should matter to you.
Yup.
And you don't even care. You only care about pleasing men and not about your freaking daughters that you had. You gave your other daughter the same advice when she was having marriage issues, and now you're giving this to, like, if I was OP, this would be a hard no contact. Like, I do not want my son being raised or even like watched by this woman.